Now, while I didn't buy this watch for this reason at all, I think this could make a great Rolex Submariner alternative. As far as divers go, with shapes like the SKX being completely different, this might be right up your street if you're looking for a Submariner alternative, but like me, you are not a huge fan of close homages. This is only my second diver, as I'm not a huge fan of divers because of their bulkiness and lack of artistic style. My first was this Seiko burnt orange skeleton. The main reason I bought this watch sits right on the dial, the circular hour markers. I've never seen these before. Dress watches, divers, nowhere. You guys know I love unique stuff. That's the way you get my money every time. On the uniqueness, again, this bracelet is so cool and fits so well with this watch. Warning, you will get sick of how many things I love about this watch. Now, the lugs. They line up with the end links. What a rare sight. So many watches like the Submariner, for example, have always annoyed me. It's like journeying across the world only to give up right before you open the door. I feel like most watches have a green or blue lume, and for something designed for water, green lume has never really made sense to me on dive watches. So I'm happy that this one is blue. Compared to my Seiko, the lume is just as bright and lasts just as long. So for this price, it stacks up well against the best lumed watch in my collection so far. It does wear a bit larger than I expected, I think due to the long lug to lug, and it is substantially heavier than I'd like it to be. This watch is slightly thicker than I'd like it to be as well, but not even remotely enough to really bother me. At 2mm thinner and 2 to 3mm smaller, this watch would have been the perfect size. This is the original model from San Martin. They've recently updated it with two things I didn't really like at all, so I deliberately got the old one. The tall hour markers looked really toyish and poorly executed. They have sharp edges and might have looked better smooth. And the removal of the date window wasn't for me. I feel like the crown at the 4 o'clock position makes sense, matching the date window position, and again, it's quite unique for today's climate of dive watches. It gives this watch character for me. Looking at the new version without the date, while the symmetry is what I think people wanted, having a watch that I feel is meant to be a daily wearer without a date complication feels incomplete. Now to very small problems I have. Not sure if there's any reason the end of the seconds hand doesn't line up with the circles of the hour markers, but it does feel like a missed opportunity. The date window text font changes from like a Seiko style to something else once it hits double digits. I assume to accommodate for the small date window. Something else that doesn't line up with the other hour markers as I think it should have. And finally, part of me wanted the text all over the bezel to be loomed, not just the marker at the 12. I also love the engraved text on the bezel. It shows an attention to detail that is impressive, especially at this price point. More detailed stuff includes the curved raising of the hour markers, the clear text and logo on the dial, something these AliExpress watches tend to get wrong a lot, and the finishing. When it comes to the finishing, brushed will always be the way for me. Dress, dive, sports, you name it. What brings this to a new level is obviously the multi-finish, with the polished edges even in between the links, which really gives this a flicker of shine without looking tacky. This watch sits on the wrist lovely, and the bracelet comes with a micro adjust clasp, something I know is very popular in the watch community. All in all, this watch is simple, nautical, and above all, unique. 7.5 out of 10. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, tell me why. And if you didn't enjoy this video, tell me why. Have a good rest of the day.